Hi. In my last tutorial I was showing to you how I designed my login page from my previous or earlier application into the new SwiftUI format without implementing the code logic behind. So as promised, I want to go further on with this implementation and show how you can convert your original application into a SwiftUI application, of course with some changes required. So the first thing is that what I learned from changing an original application version into a SwiftUI version, that SwiftUI is basically does not require, for example, an AppDelegate class. If you just start with a SwiftUI form, it will implement a completely new lifecycle of the screens, and that's why you don't need the AppDelegate. So basically, these routines are somewhat going behind, and you just need to implement what is really needed. But if you have a more complex application line, like in my case, the application can receive notifications, push notifications from a Firebase server, and because of this I need the AppDelegate, because I need to implement the Firebase initiation code and some functions for the notification handling, as well as the application startup. I need to handle it under the AppDelegate class. So to do this, of course, you can go and implement also the AppDelegate into the original or into the SwiftUI application. You just need to change a little bit the code. So the first thing what you need to do is, and I'm not going through my application as such, but when you have the original application, basically the entry point of the app is in front of the AppDelegate class. So you have here normally an add main line which shows the entry point of the application. So at first you need to remove this, and then you need to move this main into the application start point in a SwiftUI application. So once you did this, you also need to implement this UI application delegate adapter, and with this you basically link the lifecycle of the AppDelegate functions, like this one here, application did finish launching with option and so on. So all these can be used. Like here you can see that I have a lot of code inside for the messaging and other things as well, and I can't live without this. So I need to implement this AppDelegate adapter here, and then the rest is, I would say, pretty much the same. So you don't need to really take care about anything else. Those code elements we run, and then you just need to work on your SwiftUI forms. So far I only have the logging screen, but what you can also recognize that when you have a simple SwiftUI form, you just have the let's say the view name here without any additional parameters. So why I have here these parameter already, because in a SwiftUI application, if you just really make a basic application, you don't need to have let's say external code, or you don't need to change variables on the form with an external code. So you might not need all these kind of logic behind. You can implement the logic within the view itself. But in my case, I have a lot of things behind. So reaching web server, looking for data from the web server, even load data from the for the application, like saving the username and the email address, and to link all this to your form, you need to have some functions behind, and these functions should do the job. And once these functions are changing some variables what you are using, like at the beginning you don't have any email address, for example, on your screen, but when you load it from the database what you have behind the application, then you load it into a variable, and this variable should be showed on the view or on the screen. And for this you need to link somehow the variable into the view itself. So this is the first thing where it gets interesting, because when you design a storyboard application, you have a login or you have a screen, like I don't know, I'm going to another screen right now, but for example this one. So as you can see that you have a view controller class here, and you have outlets and also functions, so storyboard functions which are linked into this class section, let's say. So basically you are calling this when you are doing something, and once you are writing into an outlet, like I don't know, what do I have here? So I have here a label, for example. If I'm changing the label text, then I simply change the text behind this object variable here, and then it will appear on the screen. So you can do the same in a SwiftUI version, but you can't directly write into a state object, for example. So actually these state objects are just valid within the view itself. So you can't just go to a function outside of this structure here and call this this variable. And sometimes you can't even or not sometimes, you can't even create here, for example, protocols or delegate functions, let's say, which are linked to the view. So here I can't do like this, that like for object that I'm having a web helper delegate. So for example, I would do this. This will not work. So simply this is not an object where you can do this. So if you want to use such kind of delegate functions, then you need to implement a view model and view state kind of solution, and then you can create this kind of state parameters or state variables inside your view model. So as you can see, I have here the state object and the view model, which is coming from the login view model class. And this class is defined behind the view itself, so here. And actually this one is more or less a copy paste of my original view controller class. The only difference, of course, is that this is not a view controller anymore here, so I cannot use those view controller functions which are typically linked to an application like view did load or view will appear kind of functions. But all this needs to be handled via the view and this view model class. So inside the view model class, two things are necessary. So instead of using the view model object, you need to have an NS object and an observable object. So this observable object actually will make for you the link between the variables what you want to use as I would say state parameters or state variables, and you need to publish them. So basically this is what you can see here. So instead of using a variable, state variable inside the view itself, so like here I have the state parameter is valid and is valid name. So these can be used as a state parameter inside the view, and the view model published variables will basically work the same way as these state variables here. So whenever those variables will change inside the view model, that will automatically trigger the change here on the view itself. And later on I will show how you can handle this. So basically once you define all this, and as you can see that I have a name field text, an email field text, a status label text, activity running, boolean, submit button text, and the button enabled. So basically what this will do is that I have here the name field, the email field. So this I want to save and use for logging in the user. Then this here is the label text or status label text. So this will change if you change the name, for example, or you don't have a connection to the server, this will be written here. And when the status of this text is changing or the text itself is changing, then the view will automatically show or hide this text inside. Then I have this activity spinner here in the at the end of the email address field, which is currently not visible, but when you have a background task running, like checking the server status and the user status, this spinner will run here. The button text, of course, this will also change. So I have different statuses of the screen, like if you don't have a connection to the server, then with this button you can check again if there is a server connection, if the user needs to register because the database is not having the email address registered, then this will be showing that you can register with the button. And if the user is registered and the device itself is registered, then you can log in with this button. So this will become usable. What is also interesting here is that, of course, you need to change a lot of things. So as you can see that I had to take out this view did load, view will appear, and so on statuses, because these ones can be handled in the background when you initializing the view itself. And actually you can see that instead of all these I have here the init view, and within this I'm checking the different things like the server status, login status, and so on. And as you can see here the submit button text is already changing if the status of the user is different, and also a lot of things are running here behind. But now I'm just changing the text. Originally I also had to have here like let's say disabling the button itself, or making its alpha blending a little bit lower. So this was showing that the button is currently disabled, and all these codes I could basically delete from this ViewModel object or ViewModel class, because everything which is related to the actual status of the form can be handled under the view itself. So let's go through some things which are important when this is running. So the first thing is where of course at first the view model itself needs to be initialized. So to get the state objects, like you can see here, it's requesting the state object to be used from the view model, and this must be linked to the view itself. And then I'm calling the init view to basically fill up the basic information into the form. So of course in the view design itself, I will not know the name of the user. This will come from the database if there is any. If there is nothing, then of course this will be empty, and the user needs to enter the first value. So when it is done, or when the initiation is done, the view can be displayed with the right content, and basically the logic can be starting behind. So as you might remember, in my previous tutorial I was just setting up this text field with a rounded border, and there was no text variable attached to it, because I was not having the logic behind. So now from the view model I need to link the text itself to the text field to show the value which is coming from the database, or what the user entered. And because this is a kind of two-way thing here, so the variable needs to be used by the view model itself from the view. So here this link is basically created with this $sign. And what is also interesting here is that, and this can be confusing at the beginning, that I want to check what the user typed in here. And basically, based on the content, I can decide if this value is acceptable or not, and then I can show a different state of this text field. So to do this, I had to implement this onChange parameter, and here it needs to be defined what is changing. So here what is changing is the view model name field text. And this is what can be confusing, that here you need to have the $sign, but here you don't need to have it. So if you type it with the $sign like this, then this will create a failure here. You can see that the build failed because this variable here is in this way is not usable. So here you just need to use the variable without the $sign. And then you can check actually if the value which is entered is the right value or not. So here the only thing what I wanted to check is that if the length of this username is 3 letters or more. So there is no other validation check on this one. And the other thing here the submit can enable is basically a check once the editing was done, and not just this field but also the email field is right, then also the submit button should be enabled. But of course here I cannot check this. And what is here as well interesting is that here I'm combining a kind of local state parameter like this is valid name. Is not a ViewModel state parameter because I'm not using this in the ViewModel at all. I'm just checking here if the new text value is bigger than this 3 letters, then basically this variable, state variable becomes true, otherwise it's false. And based on that I put here an overlay parameter which is drawing a rounded rectangle around the text field, and here basically this isValid parameter is defining if this rectangle should be deleted, or it should be a red rectangle around, or it should have a width, line width or not. Should not have a line width. So basically this is automatically checking here the entry and changing the input field. Similar thing for the text field. The only difference here is that of course here the new text is an email field, and I have a validity check for the string itself. So this was already in the inside my original AppDelegate file, but of course not under the AppDelegate. It was an extension to the string object itself, and you can use this function to check if the email is a valid email. So then it's doing the same like for the username. So it will draw a red rectangle around the text field itself. The activity running, again, this is also coming from the ViewModel. So here I have the activity running bool, and basically depending on, so when I'm starting a web request to check if the server available, if the username is registered, or the device itself is registered, and these are running for a while, and during this time the spinner is running here at the end of the email address field. Okay, status text is relatively simple. So here if the status text is empty, then it will not show the text. If it is not empty, of course it will show. And now we came to the button function. So of course functions can be also linked to the ViewModel function. So as you have seen, originally there was a simple button action which could be handled within this structure definition for the view. So it was basically after the view defined here, I could enter a function which was handling these internal parameters, like setting the spinner on and off. But with the ViewModel and with this more complex logic, I had to move it out. So the action is now called at the view model level. And also I had to change the submit button text here, so it's also coming from the view model itself. And this is again interesting. If you have a kind of one-way definition of the view model published variables like the submit button text, however, this the submit button text is also a string like the email field text, but this is not a two-way text, so you are not basically changing back and forth this text, so you don't type anything into this field, and because of this you can't use the dollar sign in front of the of this text here or here, so it just can be used without the dollar sign. Okay, so yeah, and the other thing is, of course, I had to handle the disabled status and also the opacity, and this makes the whole thing much more easier. I mean, if you define all these view states here, and you define how your view should look like in different cases, like it could be that the button became red if the email address and the name is wrong, or the name is wrong, then I could be able to change this to red, or I could change it on different ways, or even might be using a different function to press, but this will actually come because this button will have many functions, many different functions, and depending on the state, those functions can be called later on. Yeah, so basically once you define it here, you just need to define the status inside the view model, and based on that status you can simply let the system define that how the view should look like. So this is basically the easiest way to do this. And one more thing should be mentioned, that as you could see here at the main app, when you want to call a view with the view model, you also need to give as a parameter to the view calling itself. And also for the preview, if you want to see it here in the preview pane, you also need to add this view model here, defining of course that which class you want to use as a view model. Okay, so let's see how it's running. So basically what it is doing is the logic behind this screen is that when it is appearing, at first it's sending a server request, checking if the actual application version is usable with the server, because you might have different changes which might be not compatible with the backend server functions. So in this case, if the actual version is usable with the current server version, then it lets you log in. If not, then it should bring up an alert message that you need to update the application to the latest version from the App Store. This one is not yet implemented, so the only logic behind is what is currently working is the checking the username and the email address and changing the button, removing the spinner, changing the status message, and that's all. So let's run it. So as you can see, now there is a name and an email address. This user is not yet in the database, so this is already checking the user. So it's letting the registration started, and here it's saying that that you should give an email address and a username to be able to register, and then you can press the registration button. And when I'm changing the name here, so you can see now it's 3 characters, still okay. And if it is 2 characters, then it's immediately changing the border to red, just as it was defined. And here the email address is actually checking if you have this at something, and once you don't have a clear domain address here, or a possibly okay domain address, of course it cannot check the email address itself if it is valid, but at least if the form itself is okay, then it is checking that as well, and as it is typed like this, then the border disappearing. And here if I'm changing, of course everything is right. And as you can see, if both are okay, then also this this button is become active, so you can press the button. Of course it's not doing anything right now, but this will be implemented as well. So basically this is what I wanted to show today, how you can link your former application delegate into your current or the new SwiftUI version, and also how you can basically copy paste more or less your application, but of course you need to change several things. So the first thing is of course that in your view controller classes, you typically have this linked variables to the storyboard objects. Those you need to change to published variables, and adding the observable object and NS object to your class instead of the view controller class. And then basically the rest more or less you can leave as it is, but of course where you were defining or using like changing the labels, so I already marked here. For example, as you can see, I had, for example, perform SIGU links or calls. So basically these were coming from the storyboard application. Defined SIGUs were segues were defined inside, and you just had to call this to go to another view or to another form. Also, of course, you had to change like you can see here the email field layer border. So basically this was removing the red border here, button alphas to show the submit button on the right way. Of course I had here text field editing function, and as you can see these were triggering a lot of things here. So when the editing was done, then it was automatically checking the status of the user, and so this can be of course used. Then here some alert view requests. These will be of course will be implemented later on with SwiftUI views and so on. But basically more or less your application logic can remain as it is, so you don't need to completely revise your application. Of course some logics might need to be reconsidered if you use the SwiftUI, because this refreshing of the screen, and these you don't need to take care about them. You just need to make sure that that you have the binding from the view controller variables to the right variables, and those variables which should trigger a view change. These links should be all created. Okay, so that's all for today. I hope I could help to get you also up to speed if you want to change your application from the original storyboard setup to SwiftUI. And if you like the tutorial, don't forget to subscribe. And with this, I wish you happy coding, and see you next time. Goodbye.